Hello and welcome to the show. Listen, I'm so glad that you joined us today. You know, this is the Tammy Show. We've been talking about being intentional for the whole year. This year, it's about what God has purposed you to do in your life and be intentional, be purposeful about how you step into that. And so, this is Women's History Month. And I tell you what, I'm excited because we have a phenomenal woman here with us today, Miss Shanika Aiken. She is the CEO, founder of Safe Organization. And she's going to be here and she's going to tell us all about it. She's going to talk about herself. I tell you what, when you talk about amazing and phenomenal, that's what she is. So I just want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy because it's coming up next. The Safe Organization presents Women and Girls Empowerment Weekend. She leads, she speaks, she inspires. Benefit Gospel Concert, June 27th, 7 p.m. Featured artist Kelante Gavin. Opening artist Tanya Caesar. Stevenson Auditorium, 979 Middleton Street in Orangeburg. Empowerment Summit on June 28th at 10 a.m. Keynote speaker, Lady Sarah Priester. Claflin University Student Center, 1801 Magnolia Street, Orangeburg, South Carolina. For more information, www.girlempowermentday.com.
Cecil Williams South Carolina Civil Rights Museum is the Palmetto State's first and only museum. It honors a generation of people, black and white, throughout the state of South Carolina who deserve to be remembered for their unselfish commitments and sacrifices. Enjoy an immersive and entertaining virtual tour. For more information, visit www.cecilwilliams.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Finkley of The Michael Finkley Show, and you're watching Gold right now. Why? You're watching The Tammy Show. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show. I told you we've got an amazing and phenomenal show with you. Women's History Month. And guess what? I'm going to tell you a little bit about this person. Well, first of all, she's a devoted wife to her husband, Marion. Yes, and what else can I tell you about her? Well, she is the CEO and founder of the Safe Organization. She's a woman of God. She's a friend to many, and she is my dear friend, Miss Shanika Aiken. Mrs. Shanika Aiken is here with us, and I am so glad that you could join us. Thank you so much, Shanika.
Thank you for having me.
Celebrating you, Women's History Month. You know, for every year I've done this, Shanika, I've enjoyed meeting women just like you. We're just like sisters. Yeah. And enjoy meeting women like you who are doing some extraordinary things in our community. And so when people come up to you or they don't know you, they see you say, oh, that's Shanika Aiken. Who is Shanika Aiken?
Oh, Shanika Aiken is a wife. She is a businesswoman. She's a friend to many. She is a coach. She is an inspiration to her children and her organization. But most of all, she is God-fearing.
Yeah, I tell you, that's one thing. If you want somebody to pray for you, that's it right here. you bring down heaven. And so I'm so grateful to have you on the show. So Shanika, let's talk about you because I always say your story has inspired me. Yeah. And I know there's some young women and some women alike during this time of the month that are looking for those inspirational stories. Let's talk about Shanika and your background because it's an interesting story to see where you've been because people don't know your story. They see the glory, but they don't know your story. So talk about that, Shanika.
Thank you again for having me.
Yes.
I am originally born in New York, and I moved to South Carolina with my grandparents at the age of 10. So I've been in Orangeburg, South Carolina, you could say almost all of my life. And so we lived on Rose Street down off of Glover. And I came from humble beginnings with my grandparents. We were raised my sister and I were raised in the house with some of my uncles and aunts, and so I always had older siblings in the house. And so from that, I began to explore life just a little bit. And I started getting into trouble at a really early age. After the death of my grandfather and after the death of my father, I kind of lost my way the strength of the family was now gone. And so I started to look for love in all the wrong places. And so I'm a teenager now experiencing things that a normal teenager should not be experiencing. And so from there, I started smoking and doing drugs. And that led to a downward spiral. And I skipped school, hated going to school, started skipping school, and started hanging with the wrong crowd. At a very early age, I was able to get into the club because I was able to get into the clubs because I was big enough for my age. And at that time, you didn't need an ID.
That's right.
And so I looked like I was mature enough, but I was only 14, maybe 15 years old going to the club, drinking and living a promiscuous life.
Wow.
Because of that, I ended up not going to school. And when you don't go to school, the state will make you go to school. So I ended up going to the Department of Juvenile Justice. And I didn't go one time, I went twice. And from that experience, that last experience really taught me something about myself, about the young ladies that were in the program. It was so overpopulated that many of us, when we got admitted, were sleeping on mats on the floor. And so we had to wait till a bed was open in order for us to be able to sleep on the bed, on the bed,
cot.
on the cot. So with that, from that experience, I left from the Department of Juvenile Justice, and I didn't come immediate home. I went to some group homes. Matter of fact, two group homes I went to, one in Columbia and one in Charleston. And that taught me some more lessons, that it's a privilege to have your freedom. And I promised myself, because of those experiences, that I never want to go back, and I want to teach and encourage and coach and inspire other young women not to go down that road. Use me as an example of what not to do. And so I've been able to use my story to help women, to be able to help young girls more specifically, to deviate them and try to curtail them from going down the wrong road, especially not going to school. Education is very, very, very important. And so I started the SAFE organization, and one of the aspects of SAFE is education. And my goal is to see all the young ladies that are in our program graduate from high school.
That's right.
And get their high school education.
Right. And you know, I did mention earlier, Shanika, that you graduated from high school, you graduated from college, you know, you do have your business. And also, when I tell people, I'm always talking about people who are inspirational. That's why I like to talk to people who have stories just like yours, because it inspires me. You talk about those lessons that you learned. One of the lessons you talked about was that you didn't want to go down that road again. You wanted to change. What was the defining moment that really you made up your mind and you said, I'm going to change?
My grandmother is the root cause of that. One day she came in the house and she looked at me and she said, "What's wrong?" And I'm thinking I'm okay. You know, I didn't know I had this look on me that something was wrong. And I was just got finished getting high. And I looked in the mirror at what she saw. And I promised myself that I would never look like that again. I was smiling on the outside, but I was wounded, hurt, troubled on the inside. And just that one look that she gave me, that something's not right. Went to the bathroom, checked myself, and that was the turning point.
Wow. And from that turning point, Shanika, what steps did you take to make the change?
Well, the first thing I started to do was reading my Bible. That's the first thing I did. That's the only thing I knew to do. Was to, at an early age, when we moved to South Carolina, my grandmother would send my sister and I to church. So we knew about going to church. I didn't know about having a relationship with God, but I knew about going to church. And my grandmother taught us those things. And so I started reading my Bible, and the desire slowly for smoking and getting high started slowly going, because now I'm hungry
For the word.
for the word. Now I'm hungry to be free. I want to be free now. I want to have a peace of mind. It's nothing like going to bed and you don't have peace.
Talk about it.
When you don't have
That's
peace
right.
and you thinking about how I'm gonna get my next high and how I'm gonna get money to do this or that or the other. And so that was a turning point. My turn was to the Bible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's just like the song, my daddy's favorite song, He Touched Me.
Yes.
So it's like God just touched
Oh,
you.
he did. He did.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, when I think about someone like you who has this story and how you are helping these young women, what is it that you say to the young women when you first meet them? What is one of the things that you say to them?
When I meet these young women that are wounded and battered like I was, I let them know firsthand, I know where you are. I've been there and you can make it. Just take one step. Just take one step forward and God will guide you the rest of the way. So my encouragement to them is it's okay. You're not in it by yourself. You have a support system and it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Wow.
It's going to
That's
be okay.
Yeah. And that's the lesson, folks. It's okay. Cuz you got to turn around some point or another. You got to be in a position where you're going to say it's okay and it's going to get better.
Yeah.
That's that song. I love that song. It's going to get better. I love that song. And so it is going to get better.
Yeah.
You know, and also, you know, my other song is Leandria Johnson, Better Days.
Better days.
You know, those better days are there. Shanika, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back. And folks, we're going to come back, so don't go anywhere because she has some more things that she's going to share with us, especially about her organization and how she's helping young women and how you can help young women as well in this area. We'll be right back.
The Orangeburg County Conference Center supports downtown Orangeburg and our surrounding communities. The 6,000 plus square foot space is ideal for groups of up to 400 people attending corporate meetings, conventions, workshops, and special events. Conference Center staff are inspired to ensure that everyone can enjoy the modern amenities. State-of-the-art ballroom that accommodates up to 400 guests banquet style and 430 guests theater style. A warming kitchen with hot boxes, ice machine, refrigerator, freezer, and counter space. A lobby that accommodates 150 guests with special events outdoors. The comfortable outdoor amphitheater has a video wall and seating. Adjacent to the amphitheater is 12,000 plus square feet of green space that extends events outside, plus complimentary on-site event parking and additional parking across the street. Your event can take place all in one spectacular location. We welcome your special event in Orangeburg.
Hey, 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 you're watching The Tammy Show. And remember to keep it cool with me, AC.
Welcome back to the show. Listen, if you're just joining us, I'm here with a phenomenal woman, Miss Shanika Aiken. And Mrs. Aiken is a dear friend of mine, but we've been talking about her inspiring story. It's like and I'm going to say this, Shanika, and thank you again for being on this show. It's like you're going from trauma to triumph, you know, and to see you now in the businesswoman that you are. So let's talk about how you made the shift and what was it that you figured you wanted to do. You said you wanted to help women, but how did you get to that point? Because everybody says, I want to do this, I want to do this. But what were those steps that you took or the strategies that you took to get there?
Absolutely. So the Safe Organization started in 2014, but the vision was in my heart right after I left the Department of Juvenile Justice. And so it didn't come to fruition till 11 years ago. Yeah, it didn't come to fruition. And so I always had it in my heart to do something for young women, but it didn't come to pass until God said, now it is time. And when he put it on my heart, then I couldn't go to sleep. I really could not go to sleep. It was like it was something that I just had to do because there were so many young women who were like how I was, lost, lonely, misunderstood, not not having necessities, and just going through life.
Yeah.
And so that pull and that push was on my heart that I had to start for these women. I literally could not sleep. And so I got up, I started writing and researched how to start a nonprofit organization, where to go, started asking a few of my friends, could they be on the board? And that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And look at that. And you said you didn't like reading. You didn't like going to class. You didn't want to be in school. But look at what you had to do. You had to study. And so having said that, what are some of the things now that the SAFE organization is doing?
Absolutely. Well, the SAFE organization, we promote self-esteem, advocacy, faith, and education in the lives of today's youth. We provide mentorship and educational services specifically for young girls. And so we have a youth advisory council of girls in middle and high school. We teach them leadership skills and abilities, as well as public speaking. We also teach them how to give back into the community. So we are community oriented. We go into community and help where we can. They collect canned good items for those that are in need. We have ways that we just give back. We give back. We did a clothing drive a couple years ago where they were able to just help us and assist us in that area. We also have it's called the Daughters of Zelophehad mentorship program for young girls that want to learn more about God, want to strengthen their relationship with God. So we take the women, or should I say, we use women in the Bible as our focal point, and we use we look at their strengths and their weaknesses and apply it to our life. And then lastly, we go into the schools and do girls circles with middle school and elementary and middle school girls.
Wow.
And we teach them about the power of resiliency and having a voice.
Right. Wow. Having a voice, that's so important because did you think, and I'm going to go back to you talking about, your upbringing and everything. Did you think that you had a voice? Do you think that that was a part of what was missing? Or was it the daddy that was missing?
Honestly, it was the daddy that was missing.
That male.
That male
That male
figure.
figure.
I always looked at my grandfather and my father as the strength, the covering
the
of the family,
backbone.
the backbone of the
Yes.
family. And you could always go to your father or your grandfather and express yourself, and they'll make you feel better about yourself. And when you don't have that, then you start looking for love in all the wrong places. And so it wasn't so much a voice that I was looking for, but more so love. Love, yeah.
Wow. So now, when we talk about the SAFE organization and starting the nonprofit, what do you think was the a challenging point for you with starting the SAFE organization? And if there was, what would that have been?
The challenge was me getting rid of my fear of making a mistake, fear that I may not get it right. The fear was my own fear, not necessarily challenges with getting the licensing or getting the people, but just getting over my hurdles. And in my mind, is this something God really wants me to do? Can I do this? Can I make a difference? Am I doing the right thing? And so the issue was more so me, but then my own head versus outside influences.
Wow. And how did you overcome that fear?
You got to do it scared.
Wow. So you did it scared.
Yes.
And you just look at what you're doing. Now, folks, I keep saying, look at what you're doing because recently just last year, and I'm saying that because we're just in March, but last year you had this big celebration, your 10-year anniversary celebration. And if you could have seen the young people, those young women that you honored, and how they received their awards and every other community person that you honored and all. It was like looking at a movie. I was like, oh my God. And then you shared your story. And that was so touching because there was a great video about you and what you are doing now. How important is it for you to be able to touch the lives of as many young women as you can?
It is very important because I am here on this earth to make a difference. And everybody has a purpose in life. Everybody. And so my purpose is to make a small indent, a positive change in the life of another woman. It is very important because that is a not a task, but it is a reward, or should I say, something that God gave me to do. You know, He didn't ask a whole lot of me.
Yeah,
He didn't ask me to go build a mansion or a house. He said, make a difference
that's right.
in somebody's life. Do to them what I would have done to them. Be the hands and feet of Jesus. And do for them what I would have done for them. And so that's why it's important to me, because I do believe that we will have to give an account for the things that we have done here on this earth. And I don't want my living
Hey,
to be in vain.
come on now.
I don't want it
Come
to be
on.
said when I close my eyes, nothing. I want it to be, I want God to be proud. I want my husband to be proud. I want my community to be proud of what I'm doing.
And we are proud of you. We are proud of you. So I'm going to go back and ask you a question. If when you were growing up, and I'm going to say the 10-year-old self, what would you tell your 10-year-old self now?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because that's when you made the transition from New York to
Absolutely.
South Carolina.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What would I tell my 10-year-old self? I would be honest with her and say, it's going to be hard some days. You're not going to always get it right. Have faith in God. Put your trust all the way in God. And always remember that you are loved. No matter what, always remember that you are loved and you are valuable. You bring value to your community, to your family. And it's not going to always be easy, but you got this.
Yeah.
You got this. Yeah.
And what was your biggest dream when you were growing up?
When I was growing up, honestly, I wanted to be a teacher.
Stop.
I wanted to be a teacher.
Stop. Really?
I wanted to, and it's so funny.
And I could see you doing it too.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's so funny because I was just telling my husband the other day, I said, I lived my dream because I wanted to be a teacher. So I worked in the school system for 14 years. Working with elementary school children. I worked at a daycare center working with children. So I've always worked with children, but I always wanted to be a teacher.
Wow.
Yeah.
And look at you. Just teaching. Teaching about the word, teaching about God, and helping these young women. So when we talk about young women and the struggles that they go through now, that leadership part, that leadership development is so important. And how do you get someone who may be going through struggles, who may be down, who may not have the self-esteem, how do you get them to understand that they are leaders?
Absolutely. One thing, they have to know it within themselves. They have to, you have to sometimes give women or children, should I say, an example of what leadership looks like. You got to put them in that environment. Bring them out of the environment of where they are. Allow them to be able to see leaders in action. And so that's why with our Youth Advisory Council, we take them to the county council meetings, and we take them to the city council meetings so that they can see leadership, to give them something to aspire to. And not only that, when we have our meetings, we bring in women leaders.
Yes.
We bring in women that are that they can have something to aspire to. But to that one that needs that encouragement, I would definitely speak into her spirit. Because sometimes they don't realize what they have because they're so bogged down. And sometimes I believe that the power of life or death is in the tongue. And you have to keep speaking it to
Speaking
them.
life.
You have to keep speaking it. Telling them who they are. You are fearfully and wonderful me. You are a leader. You are somebody important. You're brilliant. Keep speaking until they get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So if the younger Shanika had the older Shanika now,
Oh, she be rocking. She be rocking out right now. She probably be the next president.
yeah, how about that? How about
She be
that?
rocking out right
I'm
now.
telling you. Wow. So, I want you to speak to the women out there because I want them to understand what type of woman you are. And I want them to really feel what I feel now, that inspiration. What would you say to the women now?
So to the women that are out there right now, one, just know that you can make it out of any situation that you're in. No matter how hard, no matter how difficult it is, you have what it takes to make it. All you have to do, one, put your trust in God. He will never, ever steal you wrong. Two, trust yourself. You have what it takes to be the best version of yourself. And do not take down from your brilliance. Do not take down from who you are. You are good enough. You are the blessings of the Lord. You are the apple of God's eye. And not only that, you are loved.
Whew, I got choked up, Willie. I'm sorry I hit that mic. I know it went off just now. It just went through me just now. Thank you so much, because I needed to hear that. I tell people all the time, sometimes when they see you, when they see me, we're in the community, you're doing things, you're into your business and all. We didn't even talk about that. I gotta tell you about our business. We need that encouragement as well.
Absolutely.
And so I want to thank you for that. I want to quickly talk about your business because you help nonprofits.
Yeah.
And people need to know that.
Yeah.
So tell us about.
So when I started my nonprofit, a lot of people started asking me, well, how did you do it? How did you get started? And I said, but I need to start teaching this stuff to people because people really want to be able to help their community, and they are helping their community, but they don't have the logistics of it.
Right.
They don't have their paperwork in order. So I help people get their paperwork in order, their state filing, their federal filing. I also review their board documentations, or should I say their bylaws, to make sure that it is in line with their mission and their vision. And so for those that want to start their nonprofit organization, I can help them get started, and I can also help them to maintain that. We have a nonprofit 101 class for those who want to get started, then a nonprofit 102 class for those who want to maintain. And so we go into a little deeper dive in the nonprofit too. And then also I help churches start their CDC, get their CDC. So if you're a church out there and you want to start your CDC, your community development development corporation, where you're probably already, if you're a church, you probably already have a food pantry or a soup kitchen, or you probably have a clothing place where you give out clothing or whatever to the community, but you want to be able to get funding for that outside of your church. We can help you do that. We can help you get also direct you to where funding is for your CDC or for your nonprofit.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Phenomenal. I mean, amazing. I keep using those adjectives because that's you. So let's talk about something big is getting ready to happen with SAFE. And one of the things that you do is you have Girls Empowerment Weekend. And so talk about what's getting ready to happen in June. We're excited.
Yes, we are. And so, yes, the weekend of June the 27th through the 28th, we're having our Women and Girls Empowerment. This year's a little bit different. We always have girl empowerment, but this year we're incorporating women. And so for the weekend, we're having a concert on that Friday night with none other, Mr. Kalante Gavin. He will be with us on Friday night as we lift up the name of Jesus. We will also have another psalmist by the name of Tanya Caesar. She'll be there with us on that Friday night. And so the whole essence of that evening is to uplift the name of Jesus. All right. And so that Saturday, we're having the actual summit. We will have a vendor fair during the summit. We will have motivational speakers. We will have door prizes and games, just breakout sessions for the girls and for women. And the lunch will be free. We'll have a free lunch. They have to register, and it is a small investment, but it is going to be worth the investment.
Oh yeah. I've been to her Girls Empowerment weekend and day. You don't want to miss it. June the 27th of this year of 2025 is the concert. Kalante Gavin at the Stevenson Auditorium in Orangeburg, South Carolina, starting at 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock, starting at 7 o'clock. And so we want to see you there. I'm excited about it. Like you said, we are lifting up the name of Jesus. In this time and in this season, and where we are in our country, if you don't know God, you better know him. I mean, what's the saying they used to say? If you don't know, you better ask
You
somebody.
better ask somebody.
So you better ask somebody, because it's all about empowering. It's all about inspiring and lifting up these young women and the women in the community. How old do the young women have to be to participate with Girl Empowerment?
Okay, so with Girl Empowerment for that Saturday, 11 and up. So we'll take them as young as 11. For the concert, you could be any age to come to the concert, but anyone under the age of 13 must have an adult accompanied with them.
Okay. And if for more information for them to find out about the concert, about the weekend, what do they need to do?
Absolutely. So you can go to our website, which is www.girlempowermentday.com. And there you'll find all the information that you need for the concert as well as for the summit. If you would like to be a vendor, the vendor information is there. Sponsorship information is there. Volunteerism information is
Y'all
there.
hear it?
So that's that's June the 27th to the 28th. That weekend, again, we'll have, about to say pastor, we will have Kalante Gavin with us on that Friday night, and then we'll have Girl Empowerment Day on that Saturday.
That's right. Kalante Gavin and Tanya Caesar.
Yes.
I call her the psalmist of all.
Yes.
And so with the both of them, I know the concert's going to be, it's going to be great.
Yes.
I know we're going to have a lot of fun. I know that lives will be changed.
Yes.
They'll be blessed. And that's what we want, because we're coming into a season where we need the Lord. And like I tell you, we have to be intentional about everything. And Shanika, I do want to say that you have been intentional about how you have stepped into your life throughout your whole process.
Absolutely.
You know, because it's been a process.
Yeah.
It's been a true process. And I know about that. It's been a true process.
Yeah.
And so I want to thank you so much for being on this show. But you know, I got to ask you that famous thing that I ask all my viewers, all my guests, is what are the 3 words that describe Shanika Aiken?
Oh, okay. 3 words that describe Shanika Aiken. Selfless. Really have a compassion for her community, and God-fearing.
Selfless, compassion for the community, and God-fearing.
Absolutely.
And that's what I said about you in the beginning, a woman of God. Listen, I want to thank you so much, Shanika. Thank you for being on this show. Thank you. Love you. You know I do. Thank you so much. You just blessed me. You just don't know. And Lord, I hope that this show blessed you as well. Listen, I want to thank you, viewers, for always tuning in to the Tammy Show. Next week, you're going to meet another phenomenal and amazing woman. I keep using those words because it describes, as Maya Angelou would say, the phenomenal woman. And so I want you to be able to enjoy the Tammy Show and meet these phenomenal people that come on the show and learn from them, be inspired by them. But I want to thank you for being on the show. You know, I always want to thank my senior associate producer, Willie, who is always here with us. And of course, as I always say to you, remember, let's be a blessing to somebody today and every day. Get on the phone, call that person that's on your mind and say, I love you, because that's what it's all about. God loves you, and so do I. So until the next time, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.